guys thought there was some sky sounds going on right there, didn't you? Actually, those were the sounds of Emerson, Lake, and Powell. Yeah, those little trumpets kind of reminded me of back when, you know. So, how you guys doing this morning? Huh? How you guys doing today? Yep, today it's a whole new day, a whole new ball of, well, whatever it is you want it to be. So, what shall we have for you guys today? More BS, I'm pretty sure. So, I talked to my friend, and he was telling me that on some of those dates up in New York City, guess what? He heard nothing. So, are the New York sounds real? Are these sounds, can only certain people hear them? And if so, why? And, still under investigation. By yours truly, of course. You know, so far, it's getting kind of interesting. I was kind of scanning through the internet and found some rather interesting kind of stuff. Particularly having to do with the, with the UFOs, you know. They had this one in there to where they had a, I don't know who put it together, but it was pretty good. I mean, throughout this whole YouTube video, you saw all the UFOs throughout the world, you know. And from Jerusalem to the one that happened in Jerusalem. Now, the one that happened in Jerusalem was, I have to admit, it was good. And you see this light come down, and it just shoots straight up. You know, right on top of the dome of the rock. And that sucker just faster than the speed of light, let me tell you. Now, when you see things like that, you're sitting there thinking to yourself, and you're like, huh, what's going on there, you know? Yeah. The stuff like that makes you think. It really does. I mean, you know, as a skeptic, you're sitting there and you're thinking, that would be a good one to try to explain. You know, it's like, okay, everybody in the freaking world saw that one. So, I'd like to see how the scientists could explain that one, huh? Now, mind you, I'm sure that there again, if these sounds do exist, if these sounds are for real, and it's not nobody out there on their keyboard or some sound guy that collects sounds for a living, and he made all this stuff up, and like I said, just one day said, you know what, I'll stick this stuff on a video and see how far this little shiznet will go. Apparently it went pretty, I mean, if it's true, I mean, apparently it went pretty far. I mean, because he's got everybody interested in it, and everybody else has been copying it. Put it on their video, you know. Like, you know what, that's a pretty cool sound. It seems to be getting a lot of hits. You know what, I need some hits on my YouTube. But anyways, yeah, it's a pretty good trend. Everybody's following it. And it's growing. I mean, it is just, it reminds me of those back then, you know, when someone would say they saw Bigfoot. Okay? I don't know if you guys remember that one. But it all started with one person saw Bigfoot, and then all of a sudden you got all these other people coming up and say, hey, I saw him too. And then you start from people as far as freaking Alaska saying that they're seeing Bigfoot. Now it goes all the way back to the eastern states, you know, that they're saying Bigfoot. Believe it or not, my dad once told me that him and my uncle were driving down this country road up in Texas, and they saw this big figure. Kid you not, that's what he said. Big ass figure, at least 8 feet. Just climbed over the barbed wire fence, went on the other side like it was no big deal. And they said it was a Bigfoot. And this was in northern Texas, in the northern Texas panhandle. Okay? Now, I know my dad has told me some crazy stories, but you know, he would never tell me a story like this. In some ways, I gotta believe the guy, unless they had a little bit too much weed, you know. Because I mean, they don't smoke, you know, I'm just saying. but, uh, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, crop circles there again. You know, they start popping up in England, and all of a sudden everybody else is doing crop circles, you know. And the Loch Ness, there you go, Loch Ness Monster. Now there's other Loch Nesses out somewhere else in other lakes, you know. So it's I don't know, you know. Can you believe it? Can you accept it? You don't know. People saying they see a UFO. Now they're saying that that the UFOs are spreading out so worldwide. I mean, what's a UFO? I mean, seriously, what is the definition of a UFO? An unidentified flying object. Okay? So, in reality, people really can't lie about that. I mean, because technically, it's an unidentified flying object. I mean, if I see something up in the sky that I cannot identify, what is that? A UFO. Why? Because I can't identify it. You know? Does it mean that that it's a sci-fi flying saucer with little lights and stuff? Okay, I'm just saying that I can't identify what's up flying up in the air. You know, so you gotta get technical sometimes. You know, but yeah, this thing up in where is it? Area 51 thing happened back in 1945 with Roswell. Now, is that true? Nobody knows. Some people say it's the government. Well, we all know this. Area 51 definitely belongs to the government. Definitely the government. Come on, people. We all know that the government out there putting together military planes, things of the future, you know, things that we're going to see later on in the future. I mean, look at the stealth. That sucker's kick-ass. I mean, when it came out, it's kick-ass, you know. So it's things like that that the military put together, and they try to fly in secret. Why? Because they don't want it to leak out to the other countries, you know. You know, they don't want them to be, their designs to be stolen. So, of course, they have to be in secret. There's some things that the government just has to keep in secret. You can't blame them for that, you know. It's security of the United States. So, the saying, you know, and there is a saying, you know, with people, if you tend to hide something from people, especially the media, come on, they're going to do everything they can to try to find out the truth. It's like telling a kid, do not open that box. Whatever you do, do not open that box. And as soon as you walk out the door, what does that kid do? He sat there staring at that box and wondering, wonder why they don't want me to open that box. What's going to happen? What's in there? I mean, come on. It's human nature. You got to open the box to see what the hell is in there. You know, because it eats you up alive if you don't, you know. So, it's just human nature, you know. But yeah, this thing back in Roswell, New Mexico, in Area 51, we will never know the truth, you know. But usually, as some people say, the first thing that people see, like the scattering of plane parts or whatever it was that was out there, was actually the first truth. And then, of course, they covered it up. But usually, as they say, a first impression is a lasting impression. Well, usually in this case, the first thing that came out, what they said, is usually the truth. And then, of course, the second thing when they change it around, well, okay, it's all a lie. You know, they're just trying to cover the shit up. So, keep that in mind. These sounds, I'm more than sure that the government knows about these sounds. Come on, they're the government. They protect our skies, for God's sake. You know, I'm sure they got Air Force jets flying like a bat out of hell out there. and looking around to see what the hell this sounds are coming from. And I'm sure the government, like the President, is saying, you know what, let's take a look at this and, you know, let's just take a glance at it and see what's going on. Let's not alarm anybody. Let's not tell the media. Let's just check it out. If it's cool, then okay. We'll just somebody out there trying to do a marketing scheme with Hollywood, you know. So, I for one have never, ever, really seen a UFO. Mind you, I have looked. I mean, I have driven across the desert of New Mexico, you know, in the middle of the night, and I haven't seen squat. I mean, when it comes to ghosts and stuff like that, okay, I've seen a little paranormal, and I've actually experienced that. So I know that stuff is real, okay? Bigfoot, another thing, I've never seen a Bigfoot, you know. Loch Ness, never seen a Loch Ness. Sounds, I hear sounds every day. Unexplained sounds, okay? Let's talk about sounds, you know, since we are on the subject of sounds. Let's get into my favorite subject, ghost hunting, you know. How many people out there love Ghost Hunters? Or Ghost Hunters International, or Ghost Adventures. You know, it's pretty cool shows. I mean, I'm actually addicted to that stuff. I just can't get enough of it, you know. But let's talk about sounds, okay? While ghost hunting, you know how they carry these microphones and these camcorders and all kinds of stuff, you know, special gadgets, EMFs, you know. In ghost hunting, especially in any house, you're going to get sounds. Why? The house is old. It's settling. You're going to hear the creaking of the wood, the sound of the pipes, anything. The water in the pipes. Hell, you've got rats, you've got mice going through the freaking floors, woods up top, in between the freaking walls. I mean, so sounds can come from anywhere. So, I mean, to debunk any of that stuff, it's pretty simple to debunk it, you know. Them picking up, here's my favorite, when they pick up voices on their microphones, or their voice, you know, their recorders. I'm thinking to myself, do they not realize that we, again, live in a digital age to where you have radio waves bouncing everywhere? I'm talking space, okay? So the chances of them picking up radio waves on those little recorders is 99%. What I say, 99%. There's a chance that they will. Okay, because I mean, sometimes I'm talking to my cell phone and I can literally hear someone else talking. Okay, it's like I'm talking to my sister, but I can hear another conversation sometimes. It's like the lines of radio waves get crossed. So it is possible, people. It is possible, you know. But you can track that. You can track it if you know what you're doing and you capture that. Some of these radio waves actually carry codes, you know, like tracking codes or tracking numbers, an identification number that you can actually track it to see where it came from. It's possible, you know. So if you're willing to do the extra work, you can find out whether it is paranormal or it's just somebody else that you picked up talking on their phone, you know. So anyways, some of the stuff, you know, when you're looking at stuff like that, like ghost hunters and stuff like that, it's cool and everything. It's entertaining. Every now and then they'll hear a door slam and stuff like that, or you see something. But it's kind of hard to believe because you're not there. You know, I mean, come on, anybody can slam the door when people ain't looking. You know, it's like, have you ever looked at the camera guy? He's like this. He's holding his camera, okay? And he doesn't flinch. The guy does, I mean, everybody in front of them is flinching and they're getting scared and they're like, did you hear that? And hey, it was a... But the camera guy that's holding the camera, now this guy must be made out of steel or something, because nothing affects the guy. Seriously, he does not even budge. Okay, so you know that half of this stuff is staged. Okay, there again, I know that it's all entertainment. So, going back to the sounds. Anybody can stage a sound. In this case, Emerson, Lake and Powell, which is a cool song that I think that is pretty bad, you know, pretty cool. I mean, come on. Anybody can get an instrument, synthesizer, keyboard. I used to play music back in the old days, you know. I'm from the 80s, so can you imagine how old I am? So, yeah, I mean, seriously, you can stick speakers, especially if you're living in a house. Get this huge speaker cabinets. You can put them anywhere, even in the woods, mind you, with an equalizer or a sound mixer, okay? And you could, I mean, you could literally launch some serious sound out there in those woods, you know, especially in the woods, or anywhere for that matter, just to make up shit, you know? I mean, just for the hell of it, I'd do it. I mean, shit, if I lived on top of an apartment building and the next floor up on top is a freaking roof, damn right I'd do it, you know? Drag some mini studio speak monitors up there, hook that sucker to a soundboard, put my freaking video camera out there and blow that sucker away. Let me tell you, you're gonna get a lot of echo out there. It's almost gonna sound that, yeah, it's coming from out there, you know. So a lot of things you can look at. On a serious note, so that I won't ruin everybody's entertainment or excitement thing out there, you know, because everybody, come on, everybody likes that stuff. I mean, it's like, hey, that's cool. What about it this and what about it that? And what about it they came down? What about it they're real aliens? Are they going to be cool? They're going to be nice? Or they're going to kick our ass? What? Everybody loves excitement, or the what ifs, you know. As I said in my other videos, it would be kind of cool if it is true. What wouldn't be cool is that there is something going on with our planet. You know, that wouldn't be cool. Because, I mean, we're on this planet. The last thing you want is for it to break down on us. You know, so, yeah, it's not cool. But think about this theory, guys. What about, if I mentioned in one of my videos back then, what if we are the problem? Seriously. It's like, you know, you take emissions from these cars, exhaust, you know, what's that called? Global warming? They're saying that it's our fault. Well, what about if these sounds, if they are real? Maybe that's our problem too. Because, I mean, come on. Digital technology. Seriously, think about it. I mean, we've got so much wireless. We're talking wireless things everywhere. From GPSs, you name it, they're out there. And we've got satellites around the planet. And God knows. And seriously, when I say God knows, because, I mean, He's out there. He can see how many satellites surrounding this planet, you know. How do we not know that these sounds are just bouncing everywhere? I mean, it's like after so many years, it piles up, you know, and then you get these shockwaves of these sounds, you know. So in reality, it's just us. We're the ones that are making those sounds, okay? And because we've never heard it before, and it just finally coming back and hitting us, now it's affecting us, you know. So there's any scientists out there looking at this video, hey, look into it. You never know. Could be us. Could be us. You know. Now, as far as these crazy objects in the air, I myself have no explanation. Um, but it does make you think. I mean, when you guys out there look at the History Channel or Nat Geo or whatever, and they're talking about these ancient worlds like the Mayans and the Egyptians and people like that that build these huge monuments, you know, you sit there and you think, okay, you mean to tell me that this guy carved that big ass statue, okay, with a chisel in a hammer, which is actually what, made out of wood? Come on. And it's perfect. Perfect. It's like they showed the face of Ramses or whatever, and they split one side of the face with the other side in digital computer, and the shit was identical on both sides, almost to the centimeter. I know you can't do that with a chisel. I mean, whatever these guys did back in those days, you know, we're saying that these people were primitive, right? It seems to me that these people knew way more than what we did, especially when it came to mathematics, or geological or astrological. They were a lot brighter than what we are now, and we have technology, and we still can't match what they knew back then. You know? So, do I believe that there were super beings back in those days? Yeah, there had to have been. There has had to have been some sort of freakish beings that we don't know about. And obviously they were freaking just jamming up the radio waves out there, you know. So, if these beings did leave out of Peru, because seriously, look that up, you know. For those that don't know, you know, there are mountains in Peru that were just flat. We're talking about the top of these mountains completely gone. And they have these lines that look like runways. Now, when you look at that, you think to yourself, is it here where the ships landed and they left? Okay? So, that theory that I believe, you know, when you sit there and you think about the sounds and you think about Peru, Nazca Lions, and all kinds of stuff, like I said before. Yeah. In my theory, that big round stone that's a calendar that supposedly be the end of everything by the Mayans, nah, I'm not buying it. I honestly think that this big round structure was made by whoever it was that came down here and taught everybody in the ancient world about mathematics, geometry, and how to build these huge, huge ancient temples. And they used lasers. Either lasers or sound or something. But they knew. They're the ones that created the stone tablet to give the Mayans an understanding of when they were going to come back. You know, so that's, at least that's my theory on that one. So it's like the pieces of the puzzle, you know. I watch that stuff on History Channel all the time. You know, it's like when they try to decode the Bible, you know, that Moses, that exists, that Christ exists, you know, that the flood actually happened. So, there are many things in the ancient world that none of us know. None of us know. In the end, it's all left to theory. So, I will stop here now, give you guys a break, and I'll just keep researching just like everybody else. Until then, enjoy the videos, keep posting them. You guys, you hear anything brand new out there, hey, keep posting it, keep posting it. Again, take a look at my book box setup right here. Right there, can you see it? Yeah, full setup. between you and I, this book was given to me by aliens. Yeah, seriously, aliens. I mean, they came down and handed me this book and I said, here you go. But it didn't look nothing like this. It was like a manuscript, a bunch of old paper. And they said, you want to know about us? You want to know what we're about? Just copy this and make it into a book, and I did. In here is a Pentacod. Yeah, you know what the Pentacod is? You want to know what the Pentacod is? Read the book. You want to know what the angels are about? Read the book. You want to know who God really is? Read the book. You want to know everything there is to know about the cosmos and where we came from? Read the book. Now, am I serious? Not really. I'm just messing with you guys. But hey, try to make it cute, okay? Just messing with you guys. All set up. Check it out if you want, if you can. It's on ebook at Barnes & Noble. Hey, ebook. Everybody loves it. Everybody's doing it. That's a new trend. So, okay guys, I will leave you with, what did I start this thing out with? Did I say Emerson, Lake and Powell? Did he even start? Is it even blank? Pretty cool, huh? That's some serious sound right there. Check this out. Seriously, check out the keyboards. Now, you guys ever hear something like this out there? Add some drums to it. You know, you musicians out there, you hear that shit? Add some drums, you know, maybe guitar. And really start rocking with it, you know? Why not? You know, say, hey, you got something going on up there. Instead of being scared, try to kind of make a sound with it. Get some money. What the hell? Catch you guys later. Bye.